evening. The meeting is now called to order at 7:39 p.m. I would like to welcome everyone to the annual reorganization meeting of the Board of Education. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there a motion to accept the July 10th, 2024 reorganization meeting agenda? Motion? Mr. Scragg, second. Ms. Meyer? All in favor? Any opposed? I will now accept nominations for the office of the President of the Board of Education for the 2024-2025 school year. May I have a motion? Ms. LaCara?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Nick Giapetta.
Do I have a second? Mr. Joyner, Ms. Meyer, Mr. Bingasso, Mr. Scragg, and Mr. Bronson. Are there any further nominations? Okay. Congratulations, Mr. Giapetta. At this time,
I think we have to vote.
what's that?
You get a vote.
No,
I think you just took a motion. You gotta vote. Just say all in favor, I think.
I did.
Oh, did you?
No, you didn't.
I did not.
No.
Okay.
All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. So at this time, I will administer the oath of office to Mr. Giapetta. I, Nicholas Giapetta,
I, Nicholas Giapetta,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of President of the Board of Education
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of President of the Board of Education
of the South Huntington School District
of the South Huntington School District
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone, for your support. I very much appreciate it. And we're going to continue to do great things in our district. And this is the official kickoff of our 100th anniversary year. So great things are in store. Very exciting, yeah. It's pretty awesome to be part of that. So. Okay, I'm going to move on to, before we do the election of the Vice President, I want to swear in our new Board of Education, or our new and current Board of Education members who have been re-elected, Ms. Linda LaCara, Mr. Frederick Scragg, and Ms. Erin Meyer, and also then our Superintendent of Schools. Congratulations to all of you. All right. So Ms. LaCara, Mr. Scragg, and Ms. Meyer, if you could please stand up and come to the front.
I, Erin Meyer,
Linda LaCara,
Fred Scragg. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of
member of the Board of Education
member of the Board of Education
of the South Huntington School District
of the South Huntington School District
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations, Fred.
thank you. Congrats, Greg.
Okay, all right, he's just on there, okay. All right, you don't get re-sworn in, Vito, so, sorry. You get contracts. Okay, and then we have election of the Vice President. I will take nominations for election of the Vice President. Is there a nomination? Ms. Meyer, nomination?
I would nominate Linda LaCara as the Board Vice President.
Okay, excellent. Is there a second? Pretty much everybody else? Okay. Any other nominations? Okay, with that said, all in favor of Ms. LaCara as Vice President? Yep. Congratulations. All right, I will now swear in Ms. LaCara. Okay. I
Linda LaCara,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of Vice President of the Board of Education
of Vice President of the Board of Education
of the South Huntington School District
of the South Huntington School District
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, and congratulations to everyone, and you know, it's so wonderful that we have board members who want to run and then rerun, and that we have such an experienced board and really a terrific board. Thank you for your support and supporting Ms. LaCara as well, but you know, it's always a team effort. All right, we will move on to then the rest of our reorganization agenda. We have items 2 through 50 that generally we approve by one fell swoop. So I will take a motion to approve items 2 through 50 as part of the consent agenda. Is there a motion? Excuse me, a motion to first approve the consent agenda. Is there a motion? Mr. Biangasso, seconded by Mr. Scragg. Any questions on the consent agenda? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, and now I will take a motion to approve consent agenda items 2 through 50. Is there a motion? Mr. Bronson, seconded by Mr. Joyner. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, so all consent resolution items for reorganization are approved, and just so people know, these are our housekeeping items that we approve each year. They appoint our district treasurer and central treasurer, as well as reappoint companies that have been awarded RFPs, such as our labor council, our school physician, district auditor, claims auditor, accounting services, and actuarial firms. And it also adopts our bylaws and accomplishes additional items such as that. Okay, we have reached the end of the reorganization agenda. I will take a motion to close the reorganization meeting. Ms. Meyer, seconded by Mr. Biangasso and Mr. Scragg. Any questions on that? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? All right, reorganization meeting is closed. We will now move on to our regular business agenda. And we do have a lot of agenda items, though we don't have any presentations today. So I will take a motion to adopt the agenda. Mr. Bronson, seconded by Ms. Meyer. Any questions on the agenda? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, the agenda is adopted. Items E through H, which are minutes, financial items, bids, bills, require one resolution for adoption. Is there a motion? Mr. Biangasso, seconded by Mr. Bronson. Any questions on the E through H? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to new business, we have a slew of new business today. We have new business, we have 37 items of new business, and it's one of, I think, a record for us, and we'll move through them. Most of these have been discussed, some of these have been discussed in exec session, so we'll move through them pretty quickly. New business item number 1 is the approval of a stipulation agreement between the South Huntington School District and a student by his parents. Motion? Mr. Meyer, seconded by, Ms. Meyer, seconded by Mr. Joyner. Dr. Fulton.
Yes, for your approval, we are requesting the acceptance of the stipulation agreement for a student who, due to the impartial hearing process, we are agreeing to cover the tuition for the 23-24 school year.
Okay. This matter was discussed in exec session. Is there any further questions? Okay, with that, I'll call the vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Moving on to new business item number 2 is the approval of a stipulation agreement. Motion. Mr. Bronson, seconded by Mr. Biangasso. Dr. Fulton?
So again, this is another student due to the impartial hearing process that we have, we're looking to an agreement to cover the tuition from not only the 23-24 school year, but the 24-25 school year. The student's graduating, and we do not have a program to support them at this time.
Okay. Discussed in exec session. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, now we're moving on through new business item 3, and beginning with that, we have out-of-district placements. I'll ask Ms. Fulton to discuss the first one when we get to it, and then we'll just read the school thereafter. New business item 3, is there a motion? Ms. Meyer, seconded by Mr. Joyner. Dr. Fulton?
So this is the approval of a contract for a student who's currently attending AHRC and has been there for the past 4 years. We do not have a program in district to support them at this time.
Okay. Any questions on item 3? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to new business item number 4, which is the approval of an out-of-district placement for the Ascent School for Individuals with Autism. Is there a motion? Mr. Biangasso, seconded by Mr. Scragg. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to new business item number 5 is the approval of an out-of-district placement for Brookville Center for Children's Services. Is there a motion? Ms. Meyer, seconded by Mr. Joyner. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to new business item number 6 is the approval of an out-of-district placement. Motion? Ms. Meyer, seconded by Mr. Biangasso. And this is with the Center for Developmental Disabilities. What type of facility is that?
It's a day program.
Okay. And are everything that were approved, these all the case? They're all day programs?
With the exception of the next one, which is a residential.
Okay, which I'll ask you. We'll describe that one then. Okay. Any further questions on 6? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to new business item number 7 is another out-of-district placement for the Charlton School at Ketchum Grand Memorial. Motion. Mr. Joyner, seconded by Mr. Scragg. Dr. Fulton, can you just describe that school for us?
Yes, so this is a placement for a student who has an emotional disability that we were not able to support in district, and they're also receiving residential services. They've only been there the past year and a half, but they are graduating after this year, which is great news. We want them to graduate on time.
Excellent. Further questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to new business item number 8 is the approval of out-of-district placements with the Developmental Disabilities Institute for a number of students. Motion. Mr. Biangasso, seconded by Mr. Scragg, and we have a number of students going to this program. If you just describe that program a little bit.
Yeah, so this is a program for students with a wide range of disabilities. Many of the students who are attending this program are classified with autism and have the diagnosis of autism. Some of these students have been there, over 10 years and have really acclimated to that environment. So we do not have a program in district right now to support some of these students, but there are some students who are on the younger age that we're looking to create programs for them in the future so they could be educated here in our home district.
Okay, great. Further questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to new business. Item number 9 is the approval of an out-of-district placement with the Elijah Outreach Program. Is there a motion? Mr. Scragg, seconded by Mr. Biangasso. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Moving on to new business. Item number 10 is the approval of an out-of-district placement, this time with the Elijah School Transitional Programs and Services Incorporated. Motion. Mr. Joyner, seconded by Mr. Bronson. Any questions on item 10? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. And moving on to new business, item number 11 is the approval of an out-of-district placement with the Elijah School Outreach Program. Is there a motion? Mr. Bronson, seconded by Mr. Joyner. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. And item number 12 is another approval of an out-of-district placement, this time with the Elijah School. Is there a motion? Ms. Meyer, seconded by Mr. Biangasso. Just back to you, Dr. Fulton. I see a number of Elijah schools here? Are these different parts of the school? Are they separate institutes? If you can just describe them for us.
Right, so there's different programs that students attend. A lot of students who do attend the Elijah School are often ungraded, meaning they're alternately assessed. They don't take any New York State Regents exams or any other state exams. So students who are currently in this placement are here because we have reached out to some state-approved schools and they are not able to support them there. So we have gotten placements in the Elijah School, which has a variety of programs within it, some being vocational, and others just being academic, but there's a wide range of students here from the range mostly of autism diagnosis to multiple disabilities, also with autism.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Any further questions for Dr. Fulton? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, moving on to new business. Item number 13 is the approval of out-of-district placement with the Elijah Transitional Programs and Services Incorporated. Motion. Mr. Biangasso, seconded by Mr. Bronson. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, we're done with the Elijahs. Moving on to new business item number 14, approval of an out-of-district placement with the Hagedorn Little Village School. Motion. Mr. Joyner, seconded by Ms. Meyer. Dr. Fulton, you want to explain the school for us?
So this, just similar to the Elijah School, but this is a younger student, a student who is not able to be at a current BOCES placement, so we were able to get them a placement at this program. Right now, they've been there for 4 years, but they do have the multiple disabilities, and that's why at this time we cannot support them in district.
Okay. Questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Moving on to new business, item number 15 is the approval of an out-of-district placement with the Little Flower Union Free School District. Motion. Mr. Biangasso, seconded by Mr. Scragg. Dr. Fulton, so we're sending this one to another school district. Why is that? Do they have a program, a special program there?
So Little Flower is a state-approved program that's out east, and they have a program there that really specializes in a lot of emotional support for students. So we do at times have students attending Little Flower, but we've been able to have many of those students return to district, and we're hopeful in the future that as we get our academy program up and running more this year, that one of these students will be able to transition to it for the following school year.
Okay. Any questions on new business 15? All in favor? Any opposed? Moving on to new business item 16, approval of an out-of-district placement, the Children's Center at Suffolk. Motion. Mr. Joyner, seconded by Mr. Scragg. Any questions? All in favor? Do you have a question, Mr. Scragg? No. Okay. Sorry. All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to new business item 17. This time, approval of an agreement between South Huntington and Metro Therapy. Is there a motion? Ms. LaCara, seconded by Mr. Joyner. Mr. Bronson, rather. Excuse me. Dr. Fulton.
So Metro Therapy provides a range of services for students that are currently from South Huntington, as well as our district of location students. So we do use Metro Therapy to provide some of the resource room services over at St. Anthony's. So this is just their annual contractual rates so that we can continue having some services through Metro Therapy.
Great. Questions for Dr. Fulton? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to new business. So we finished with our special education portion. We're going to move on to new business 18, a little different. Approval of obsolete pianos. Quite a transition motion. Ms. LaCara, seconded by Mr. Scragg. Dr. D'Elia.
Yes, we have 2 upright pianos at Waltman High School that were from 1986, and they are not functional at all. They're really taking up space, and we'd like to get some new equipment in there as soon as possible. So, for the board's approval.
Any questions? Oh, you can grab them. you don't? Do you know the piano? Oh, okay. All right. I figured. All in favor? Any opposed? Moving on to new business 19. Approval of confidentiality and data security and privacy agreements with various companies listed. Is there a motion? Who hasn't? Mr. Scragg, seconded by Mr. Biangasso. Where is he? Dr. Hender.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ciapetta. Tonight, for the board's approval, I present to you confidentiality, data security, and privacy agreements with various apps and learning platforms to enhance student learning throughout the district.
Questions for Mr. Hender? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, approved. Okay, moving on to new business item number 20, approval of extra classroom accounts for girls flag football. Ms. Meyer, seconded by Mr. Joyner. Dr. D'Elia.
Yes, this is coming from Coach Ralph Milazzo in that capacity. The girls' flag football team has been extremely successful since its inception for 3 years, and they would like to open up an extra classroom account to assist them in their fundraising efforts to continue in supporting of this wonderful and well-attended program.
Okay, any concerns? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to new business. Item 21 is approval of South Huntington Nutrition Services to continue participation in the Long Island School Nutrition. No, I don't know what the rest is. Something with nutrition. I don't know.
It's really the National School Lunch Program.
National School. Okay, National School Lunch Program. Doesn't a lot of. It's fine. National School Lunch Program. Motion. Mr. Bronson, seconded by Mrs. Gregg. All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving along. Item number 22 is the approval of an RFP to Island Industrial Burners for burner and boiler equipment repair service. Motion. Mr. Biangassi, seconded by Mr. Scraggs. So we go from pianos to burners, covering everything. Any questions on the RFP? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to new business. Item number 23 is the approval of a district-wide safety plan for the 2024-2025 school district. Is there a motion? Mr. Scraggs, seconded by Ms. Meyer. Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Ciapetta. For the Board of Education's review is the updated district-wide school safety plan. With the board's permission, tonight we will start a 30-day public comment period. This plan will be made available in the office of the district clerk. After the public comment period has ended, there will be a resolution to adopt the safety plan at the board meeting on August 21st.
Okay, great. Questions for Mr. Smith on the safety plan? Okay, great. Thank you. Any changes from last year that we need to know about? Or?
No major changes at this time.
Okay, great. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to new business. Item number 4 is a consultant agreement between the South Huntington School District and Whoopi's Technology. My favorite company. Motion. Mr. Bronson, seconded by Mr. Scragg. Mr. Smith.
And once again, for the board's approval is a consultant agreement with Whoopi Technologies, which provides additional technology support to our network, servers, and also helps to lend some expertise to Infinite Campus and our database queries.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Questions? Yes. Surprised they haven't brought that show back. They brought everything else back. Questions on Whoopi? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to new business. Item 25 is the approval of a Board of Education workshop and goal planning session on August 10th. Motion. Mr. Biangassi, seconded by Mr. Joyner. And this is for our annual board retreat and work planning session. All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to new business. Item number 26 is the approval of an agreement with the. Sorry, one second. Approval of an agreement with Local 237 International for the cafeteria employees. Is there a motion? Mr. Scraggs, seconded by Mr. Bronson. Mr. Conway, welcome.
This is going to be a request for approval for the food production coordinator for the food service program.
So they can assist with overseeing the various cafeteria staff throughout the various buildings.
Is this a new position or just a
It's
modification?
a title that's existed in the contract, just a new, fulfilling it for the first time.
Okay, so it's already in the it's in the contract.
Correct.
Okay. Well, we haven't had somebody in the position before. Is that
That's
correct?
Correct.
Okay. Questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to new business. Item number 26 is the approval of the Foster Grandparent Program. Motion. Ms. Meyer, seconded by Mr. Joyner. Mr. Smith.
Thank you. For the Board of Education's approval is this memorandum of understanding to continue our partnership with the Foster Grandparent Program. This wonderful program allows members of our community that are 55 and older to act as mentors with our elementary age students, often helping them with homework, playing board games with them, or simply being around for a friendly conversation. Great program.
Great. No, it's a great program. We always honor them each year. So, okay. Questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to new business item number 28, approval of substitute pay. Motion. Oh, Mr. Bronson, seconded by Mr. Joyner. Mr. Smith, back to you.
For the Board of Education's approval is the hourly rate for our substitute paraprofessionals, food service workers, and custodians for the 24-25 school year, which sets it at $16 an hour, which will increase to $16.50 to be in line with the Department of Labor's minimum wage starting January 1st.
Okay, great. And you reviewed these and you believe they're sufficient to retain and
As far as our
recruit?
substitute staff, definitely.
Okay, great. Questions for Mr. Smith? All in favor? Any opposed? Moving on to new business item 29, approval of school safety officer coverage. Motion. Mr. Joyner, seconded by Mr. Biangasso. Mr. Smith, back to you.
For the Board of Education's approval is this resolution, which allows Mr. Charles Dispenseri, one of our safety officers, to take a supervisory role in the instances where the other two supervisors are not available. When this occurs, Mr. Dispenseri will be compensated at supervisory rate, which is $34 an hour.
Great. Questions for Mr. Smith? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, we're going to begin a series of travel allowances for different units. We're going to start with our local 424 motion. Mr. Scraggs, seconded by Mr. Bronson. Mr. Smith?
Yeah, for the Board's approval is this resolution that provides travel allowances to two members of Local 424, our lead mechanic and also our district painter. Both employees utilize their personal vehicles for travel around the district.
Okay, questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to new business item 31, approval of middle management travel allowance motion. Mr. Biangasso, seconded by Mr. Scraggs. Mr. Smith, back to you.
Yep. Once again, for the Board of Education's approval is this resolution that provides travel allowances to three members of our middle management, our supervisor of facilities, school lunch manager, and administrative aide to the Board of Education. Once again, all these employees utilize their personal vehicles for travel around the district.
Okay, any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? We'll move along to new business item 32, approval of the South Huntington Administrators Association travel allowance motion. Mr. Bronson, seconded by Mr. Joyner. Mr. Smith, one more time.
Once again, for the Board of Education's approval is this resolution that provides travel allowances to five members of the South Huntington Administrative Association, our supervisor of mathematics and science, supervisor of guidance, also our assistant supervisor of special education and supervisor of physical education, as well as our supervisor of administrative services. Once again, all these employees utilize their own vehicles for travel around the district.
Great, yeah, extensively so. All in favor? Any approved? Any opposed? No. All right, moving on to new business item 33 is approval of technology department travel allowances motion. Mr. Bronson, seconded by Ms. Meyer. Mr. Smith, one more time for the night.
This is it. This is the last one. For the Board of Education's approval is this resolution that provides travel allowances to three members of our technology department. All three employees utilize their personal vehicles once again for travel around the district.
Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Great job. Yes.
So with, per the discussion for our travel allowance, that for in-district travel, that expenses are to cover for their personal use of the vehicle. It is not to, it is in lieu of mileage reimbursement. So those individuals that are getting a stipend within the district for travel, the stipend that we approved is to cover the mileage within district travel, just so that there be no double compensation for that.
Right, thank you. Correct. Yes. The only exception would be for travel and conference approved by the board or administration, correct?
Yes.
Okay, we have two more consulting agreements. The next consulting agreement is between the district and Smart Web Incorporated. Motion? Mr. Scraggs, seconded by Ms. Meyer. Dr. Fulton.
Sorry, couldn't find my button. For the board's approval, I present to you this approval of a consultant agreement for SmartWeb, who has been instrumental in handling our district infrastructure and the planning of the expansion and the replenishment of our different types of servers and equipment throughout the district.
Okay. And this is agreement we've done in the past?
Yes.
Okay. Questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to new business. Item 35 is approval of consultant agreement for curriculum program services with an individual. Motion. Mr. Biagassa, seconded by Mr. Bronson. Dr. Hender.
Thank you. Tonight, for the board's approval, I have a consultant agreement with an individual to continue the great work we've been doing in our English language arts cohesive pre-K through 6 program, and it will last throughout the summer.
Okay, great. Questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to new business. Item number 36, approval of destruction of ballots that were cast and spoiled from the May 20th, 2023 annual district budget vote and Board of Education elections. Motion. Mr. Biagassa, seconded by Mr. Scragg. I think it's self-explanatory. Be it resolved that pursuant to Education Law 2034, the Board of Education of the South Huntington School District hereby authorizes the district clerk to destroy all of the ballots cast, spoiled, and unused from the May 20, 2023 annual district budget votes and Board of Education elections. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? And our last item of new business is recommendations to the placements of students by the Committee on Special Education, dates listed in February, March, April, May, and June, and the Committee on Preschool Special Education, various dates listed in March, April, May, and June. Motion. Mr. Joyner, seconded by Ms. Meyer. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to the personnel part of our agenda. We have personnel schedules for your review and approval. 2, 3, 6, 9, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 19, 19, 22 for the board's approval. Motion. Mr. Scragg, seconded by Mr. Biagassa. Any questions on the personnel schedules? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, one important announcement on that personnel schedule. Because of Dr. Hender's promotion, we had an opening at Maplewood, and the board conducted interviews for the Maplewood principal position, and we are very happy to announce that Ms. Maria Colon is going to be appointed to that position. Congratulations. And you can go home again, as Maria will be going back to Maplewood after being as Oakwood assistant principal for a number of years. We know she's going to do a phenomenal job, and we're so happy that she's been with us for so long. Maria, would you like to say anything?
I would just like to thank the board and the cabinet for allowing me this opportunity, and I can't wait to continue to propel the building forward with Stephanie still on the way.
It's going to be a great pairing. Congratulations. All right. Okay. Excellent. Maplewood is in good hands. Personnel posting is listed. Facilities committee. The facilities committee met, and we will be having another meeting actually this week. We have largely focused on wrapping up the existing projects that are going on, as well as looking forward to future projects. As you can see, we're largely done with the bleacher and comfort station project, minus the comfort station, which we expect will be installed sometime in October. The comfort station will be quite sight to see. It comes in one prepackaged building that will drop right onto the hookup, and it will provide single stall usage for our students, as well as our guests and parents, and everyone else who needs to use them without having to go into the building, so they'll be all right there. Additional construction that will be happening over the summer that you might see. The marine biology marine biology center will be built at Waltwood High School. We look forward to that. We're doing some work on the north gym canopy. We had some loose bricks. Those bricks have now been tied back to the wall. And also we're waiting to replace missing broken glass from the north gym canopy. You'll also see construction on a welcome station at Waltwood High School, which will provide otherwise known as a security booth, which will continue our efforts at safeguarding and securing our students. Simpson Middle School will be getting a new sign, just to say Simpson Middle School, but as you can see, the current one is all rotted, so we're going to update that as well. Dr. D'Elia has been busy installing air conditioning with the facilities department throughout the district, and so now we have air conditioning units in, I believe, every classroom.
Yes, we have them in all of the classrooms, the large classrooms within the district, first floor, second floor. We do have some of the spaces that are windowless, that we're looking to use these mini ductless units that we plan on putting in, and we're working on those right now. Because I know there's a bill with the governor that's about, my understanding is she's going to sign it regarding air conditioning in the classrooms. South Huntington is in very good shape. And, we're happy that we did this. The board facilities committee decided this back in September, October, not knowing anything regarding the governor with this bill that was being proposed. So we just believed it was in the best interest of children. So the facilities department has been doing a great job, and we're looking to get those windowless rooms hopefully done within the next school year.
Great, thank you, Dr. Lee. And as Dr. Lee was referencing a bill in Albany that has passed the legislature and looks headed to the governor's desk, which would require the school be closed if rooms exceed, I believe, 88 degrees.
3 feet from the middle of the room, that's where the temperature will be taken. And if it's 88 degrees or higher, that is going to be a place that cannot be occupied by students or staff.
So we're ahead of the game. I don't know how districts will measure it, if they're going to have thermometers in every room, but we're in good shape there. Other capital projects just to be on the lookout for that were approved in this budget, and some of which will be started this year. Silas Wood door replacements, district building-wide. We are doing construction work on the Stimson Middle School breezeway, which has some deterioration. It's been held together with some Band-Aids for a while, and now we're going to be fixing that. Silas Wood gym floor resurfacing will be happening, and that is all for now. Questions on facilities? Okay, and as I said, we'll be meeting on Thursday of this week. Future meetings are listed. We have 3 summer meetings this year. Next one is August 7th, and then another one August 21st. Comments by board members? Ms. Meyer.
Thank you, Mr. Ciapetta. I just wanted to congratulate everyone, particularly the cabinet, the board, all the administration, and the high school staff on a very successful graduation. Sounds like it was one of the best ever, which is wonderful. And again, congratulate everyone on a smooth week 2.5 of Wildcat Camp. Sounds like it's going wonderfully. Last week was off to a resounding success with all the programs that we have. It's been so wonderful to see how the camp programs continue to grow each year, including arts and sciences and coding and baking and cooking and so many sports to choose from for our students to get to try. It's such a tremendous benefit to our community, and it really runs like such a well-oiled machine. I can guarantee it was more than 88 degrees out there this week, but it looks like there were lots of smiles and everyone continues to have a great time. So thank you for everyone that's staffing that this summer.
Thank you, Ms. Meyer. Other comments by board members? Mr. Bronson.
I was just going to congratulate again Ms. Lucara, Ms. Meyer, and Mr. Scragg for the reelection. I think, as you said, Nick, and what I always remember Bob Vecchio saying that to be a better board member, the continuity, to have people sort of rerun for multiple terms really makes you a better board member. And so as a board, I appreciate having colleagues that have served on this board for additional terms. And also just want to congratulate again Maria Colon for her appointment to principal of Maplewood. Again, just a very exciting time for the district.
Congratulations. Other comments by board members? Mr. Joyner.
I would have to echo Andrew's comments, and I just want to say sincerely, I'm so excited and elated for Maria in terms of her new position. Worked with her over a number of years in various capacities, even with Project Excel and a number of other initiatives. And so this is really exciting to see what will happen with Maplewood and her leadership, along with her team. So I'm very happy and very excited. I want to thank her personally on her demonstrated excellence in her capacity in this new role.
Congratulations. All right. Other comments by board members? I'll just take a moment to address a topic that's been in the news, just keep people up to date. During the course of the school year, the Board of Education authorized the district to be part of a lawsuit suing various social media companies, including Snap, Meta, and which I believe TikTok and others. So this has picked up some attention recently. I think we're not the only one that's part of this lawsuit. There's a lot of districts throughout Long Island and throughout the country, but we have been part of the news recently, which I think news likes to come to us because we're responsive, and we occupy a leadership position in the center of the island. So you may have seen some stories that have appeared in Newsday, in the New York Post, one that was on News 12 last night. Also, there were some Fox News, Dr. D'Elia appeared on. There was also some radio spots on WINS and CBS as well. And just to give people a little bit overview, the allegations are ones of negligence and public nuisance against these social media apps, arguing that they're being negligent and creating a public nuisance in the way that they're operating their apps. We don't want to talk too much publicly about the lawsuit because we are in active litigation. As I mentioned, there's a number of other districts that are involved. They're seeking damages as well as changes to the way in that the apps conduct themselves. Obviously, there's been a mental health crisis that has taken hold throughout the country. No one is immune from that. The allegations are certainly that these apps have at least contributed in part to that, and also concern about the content that is being shown to our children, as well as the fact that these apps can be used to make threats against school buildings and individuals, which we've seen, as well as provide another avenue for bullying. So that is the nature of the lawsuit. It is ongoing. It's being filed in federal courts. These things take a very long time. Next phase will be discovery, where you seek depositions and document requests. Just so it's clear, the district is not spending any money on this lawsuit. It's being taken on by the attorneys who handle it, and if there's any recovery, then they take their set percentage fee from the recoveries. So it's at no cost to the district, and the Board of Education felt that this was a very important issue to join in, as this presents a threat to our students, and we have seen the threat come to our schools, and we have had to respond with education on being a good digital citizen, as well as hiring additional mental health professionals. So it's had a profound impact, and that's the nature of the lawsuit. Dr. D'Elia.
Yes. I'm going to piggyback, I had it in my notes, off of Ms. Meyer, which she had mentioned regarding, first we'll start with graduations from pre-K, grade 5, grade 8, and a wonderful, and I agree with you, Ms. Meyer, I think it was, and Dr. Murphy, I hope you agree too, because you've been through a lot of them. It was an unbelievable, great send-off for our class of 2024. But I also know that, even though they're on a smaller scale between pre-K, grade 5, and grade 8, there is a lot of work that goes into it. I know Dr. Hender is here. Ms. Cologne, you'll be used to that next year. But we appreciate all the work that everybody does in making these moving ups and graduations so successful here in the district. And we did a little change for grade 5 this year between Birchwood and Maplewood by putting the students, the highlight of our program, on the stage, and we were able to get all the parents and grandparents and siblings in an air-conditioned environment. So, and thank you, Dr. Murphy, as we were trying to make sure we had enough room for everyone, which we did. And those were pretty hot days, but we were able to get everybody inside, and job well done. And also, I did want to talk about camps as well. We're at a record number, I believe, for Wildcat Sports Camp and cooking, coding, and we have science. We'll have our week of art in week 5, art and music. And we are so excited with all of the work that goes into putting these camps together. It does take a village to make them successful, and I thank all the individuals involved in putting these camps and working these camps to make it such an asset to this community. When everybody's looking for great camps, listen, if your child comes home and says, Mom, Dad, I don't want to go back to this camp, you don't really hear that. It just keeps growing, and that's a testament to all the people that put these camps together. And we're extremely proud of what we have here in South Huntington to offer our community during the summer months.
Thank you, Doctor. Other comments by board members? Oh, okay. What's that? No. I'm just going back. I just had a couple additional comments. I don't want to repeat, but on graduation was really spectacular. It was a beautiful day. But the moving up ceremonies was a really great idea, as you said, to have the students on the stage. It allowed the parents to be in the audience, and it opened up a lot of space so that people were in the hallways, and of course, as you mentioned, it was air conditioned. Just one thing going forward, I mentioned it for the first time, it's our 100th anniversary. It will certainly not be the last time. Look for it in many ways, shapes, and forms throughout the whole school year. We've had an alumni association committee that's been led by Dr. Murphy that's been meeting for over a year now. There will be events celebrating the 100th anniversary throughout the whole school year, things that you'll see at board meetings, things that you will see as part of homecoming, special events that haven't been done before. Each building will play a role. There's a specific district logo for the 100th anniversary, so there's going to be a lot of things that you'll see, and they'll start to get rolled out as we go along. There'll be a big special celebration in December when it's officially our 100th anniversary. So there's a lot to look forward to, and we'll be releasing details as they become finalized. All right, public comment. I believe there's a couple individuals who would like to address the Board of Education. Ms. Jessica Davies Sikoski, are you here? Okay, could you come up and address the Board of Education? Just to the microphone over there. It's a small room, but we like to use the microphone so that, because we live stream everything.
Oh, got it. Okay, thank you. Good evening. There have been a number of staff members who have recently had revisions made to their contracts as recently as June 18th without any information being provided to the public, including Dr. D'Elia. There was an amendment made to his contract recently. Can you speak to the specifics of the amendment and why it was necessary?
Sure. And we also have, I don't know if, before I answer those, we have another person who'd like to address, I don't know if it's on the same topic. Lauren Davies Sikowski, are you here?
Yeah, it's a little bit different.
Okay, so I'll address that first. Yeah, just so you know, in June, that's when we revised the contracts. I'll take the cabinet first. Those are the contracts that we addressed. So certain people in the district operate pursuant to collective bargaining agreements. So all of our teachers, our paraprofessionals, they have collective bargaining agreements. They have a union, and they're negotiated, and then the board approves those. Then there's individuals who are part of middle management, like Ms. Caliendo, who don't have a bargaining unit, and they get an agreement that govern people like that. And then our cabinet, they're subject to different procedures. So all of our assistant superintendents, they're appointed, they're put on a tenure track where they are entitled to receive tenure after 3 or 4 years, and because they don't have a unit to represent them, they get individual wage and benefit agreements that govern their terms and their conditions. Then after 3 or 4 years, they're entitled to tenure. Dr. D'Elia is a little different. As superintendent, he's not entitled to tenure. He works on contracts. So when we first appointed Dr. D'Elia, he was appointed for a 3-year term. The most you can appoint a superintendent for at any point in time is 5 years. They can only have 5 years on their contract pursuant to state law. So he was appointed originally for 3 to make sure that he was working out all right. And he did, and when the board was happy with his performance, we extended his contract so that he had a 5-year contract, which was the maximum. And it's been our practice each year, if we're happy with him, we add another year to his contract. So that's really all we did with him at that point. We added an additional year to his contract so that he now has the maximum number of years possible, 5. And we also adjusted it to give him a cost of living increase, the same cost of living increase that all of our teachers that we gave to all of our teachers and gave to all of our administrators. With respect to the other wage and benefit agreements that we amended, some of them were to receive a change in title. So for example, Mr. Conway over there, we moved his title from executive director to assistant superintendent for business. And everybody else, pretty much, we had a contract for Dr. Hender because Dr. Hender was the principal of Maplewood. So when he moved out of Maplewood and we appointed him to assistant superintendent, he needed a wage and benefit agreement because, as I said, they don't have a bargaining unit to represent them. And everybody else that Ms. Kavanaugh, Dr. Fulton, and Mr. Smith, we adjust their contract to give them the cost of living increase. So for them, whenever we have to do that each year to give them a cost of living increase, it requires a new agreement. Did Did that answer your question?
Yeah, but just to clarify, when you say cost of living increase, is everyone receiving the same percentage?
Yes, I mean, not, roughly, we try to. The percentage, you know, that we give them, it generally has been what we negotiate with the teachers, or it complies with the tax cap. That's generally our practice, so.
So when you say complies with the tax cap, do you mean it's typically higher than teachers?
Not necessarily, no. I mean, there's a lot of variables involved, so it's, it's a long, the teacher contract is run very differently. Teachers are entitled to step increases each year. If they're on step, I believe there's 20-something steps, so they're entitled to a step increase plus an annual cost of living increase on top of the step increase, and then also if they take additional education courses, they move along their spectrum so that they are entitled to. So, for example, if they have a master's 30 and then go to master's 45, they're entitled to more money that way. So their increases are generally more than what the cabinet gets based on that percentage. Okay. And then I believe Lauren Davies-Sikowski. Did I pronounce your name right? Hi. Good evening. No problem.
So looking at the budget, there seems to be many lines addressing. Okay, there we go.
Perfect.
Good evening. How are you?
Good evening.
So looking at the budget, there seems to be many lines addressing services for students that were increased this year. However, speaking to many parents and based on my own personal experience, it appears that the district is actually taking away or trying to take away a number of services from students. Is the board trying to save additional monies by cutting these services on an individual basis?
Okay, I'm not sure. I mean, I'll need more information. I don't think we've taken away anything from students. So do you have something specific?
So just in speaking with, according, with my own personal experience and speaking with a number of parents, who have students that were receiving services, or in them speaking with teachers or personnel in schools and having conversations of services that they teachers were in support of them receiving next year, but then when coming to our IEP and CSE meetings, there was a very different tone to that meeting, and it was almost not a conversation with parents. It was a very, no, it was almost like we are not offering this. It was not a back and forth conversation.
Okay, I understand what you mean, yeah. I thought you meant there was some kind of cut because we operated a rollover budget. So you're talking about student services provided pursuant to an IEP.
Yes, and not, again, not just my own personal experience. It was a number of parents that I spoke with.
Okay. I don't believe I believe we're always looking at, to make sure that we're providing the proper services. It's hard with, we have a lot of special ed students, so it's hard to speak to each individual one. I mean, if you look at like what we approved today, right, we approved out-of-district placements for 17 different students, to go to out-of-district placements at a great cost. So there was no change in services for them. Could there be a change in service recommended for somebody? Perhaps. I mean, there's always fresh eyes on it. Perhaps they thought that the student no longer needed the service because they've improved. They don't need that service, which would hopefully be the goal. Or maybe they thought it was not serving the purpose that it was supposed to. I'm not giving you a super specific answer, but because it's hard to, each is a case-by-case basis. But I don't believe there was any, certainly we always look at all of our costs, right? Special education is obviously a very big cost for the district. So, we have to make sure that we're providing the correct services and that, we're doing what's in the best interest of the student and the district. I'll look in further to your concern.
It just seems that the tone. It just seems that the tone of the meetings were not open for parent discussion or parent input.
Okay. And was there a concern, excuse me, there's a lot of people who go to those IEPs. You have the special ed director, you may have a parent advocate. Is there any, just in general the tone? And not, are you
I don't want to name specific
Fine.
names.
I'll name people.
Okay, go ahead.
So we
Go ahead, go for
we
it.
started our experience with Cynthia Quinlan, who is very willing to provide services that our child needed, and
Okay.
willing with Dr. district saving money on those students?
We are trying to bring certain students back, yes. I don't have those numbers now, I can look into it. It is certainly a goal where appropriate, right? Certain of these students,
100% to
Yeah.
provide services in-house.
yes,
With that being said, if you're trying to provide more services in-house, why does it seem that you now have someone directing the lower grade special ed programs that's looking to remove services across the board?
okay. All right, we'll need to look into that, and certainly, we'll look into the,
As a parent, and I don't mean to speak over you, but if I have a developmental pediatrician and I have, this evaluation saying, my child has identified needs, and someone looks at me and says, well, you're not getting it, I have to take my own recourse.
Understood, and, we certainly know you have rights to take, and sometimes there's disagreement that has to lead to an impartial. We try to avoid that, we'll look,
That's just it. It doesn't seem like someone's trying to avoid that.
okay.
What used to be a gray area where there was teacher input, staff input. I sat in an IEP meeting where people couldn't look me in the face for the first time. People that I worked with for a number of weeks. My child's been getting services for more than a year now within this district, and it was a totally different tone.
Okay, so that's something that we're concerned about. I mean, certainly sometimes, right, we give news to people that they may not like, but it should be delivered at least in a proper tone. You might not like the answer, but you certainly should get respect. I mean, I don't know if you're feeling that that's lacking.
It's not that I don't like the answer, it's that I need your answer backed up with proof.
Okay.
I need someone to say, this is why this is my response to you, not this is just what's going to happen.
Okay, that's fair. I understand. Dr. Dilly, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, and I just want to say the conversation doesn't end as far as reviewing. Maybe I'm just because I'm not speaking to anybody specifically, but if a service has been taken away, there should be things in place to review, and because there are annual CSC meetings, and if there's a reason that the student needs to have it, we come back to CSC. So I hear what you're saying. There's no mission here to reduce costs. That's not what we have to give students what they need, but it's also, if it's something that we see, we have conversations with teachers. We could come back to CSC and see what is needed. And the door's not closed, especially because I think you're talking about, especially, you're at the elementary level.
At the elementary level, and I have a hard time understanding what you're saying with the door not being closed when the last response I got is, you'll be given the number of our attorney.
Okay.
As a parent.
Okay, understood. But that's not what the district is about at all here.
100%.
And
I'm just trying to communicate as a parent, like this experience.
You feel there's a change that's happened?
Yeah, there's a huge change that's happened.
Okay, and we'll look into your concerns. Yeah, go ahead.
There was also conversation that happened with school staff that was very like, okay, this is how we're going in, this is kind of what we're seeing, this is kind of like what we are going to present, and that is not what happened in this meeting. It was almost as if the teacher and the behavior specialist were being grilled and were being told this is what you are going to say, and they were not able to speak to what the conversation that we had about our child.
Okay. We will,
And that is, and again, I don't want to keep this personal about our,
Right.
that is a conversation that has happened with many parents
And we-
that we have spoken to.
Okay, and we will look into your specific situation as well as the more general situation, and we want to make sure that, people are professional, and that they're explaining to you the basis for their decision. We think that's fair. There hasn't been a mandate we are looking at costs for sure, and, this is a huge driver. Largely the focus on the cost is to try to bring back some of these out-of-district placement students where possible, where we think that we can offer a service comparable and at a better rate. But we always do right by students, so we'll look into it further. Thank you.
And also, please do not hesitate to make an appointment to meet with me to discuss this further about your personal situation. I'd be more than happy to sit down with you.
Thank you. Yeah, and just so you know, while you can certainly discuss your situation, we're not allowed to discuss particular students in public. Okay. Anyone else like to address the Board of Education? Okay, take a motion to adjourn. Ms. Meyer, seconded by Mr. Joyner. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, good evening, everyone. We will see you in August.